I watched the terrible trio as they balance precariously on the salmon ladder bar. They still haven't figured out they can do pull-ups to raise it, so they've been working on their terrible trio tower technique. They're actually at a point where they can all get on the bar, so now they just need to finish the maneuver and cling onto the ledge. The three all take a deep breath and start counting to 3 together. 1, says Melinda, her eyes locked on the edge that's currently out of her reach. She shifts her feet only slightly, confirming to herself that Khenal has her properly in hand. 2, continues Khenal, feeling a bit awkward as the centre part of the tower, but he's the best suited for it. 3, finishes Hark, and they all 3 stand and start falling towards the ledge, and Melinda manages to catch it this time. I got it, she exclaims with excitement. She has her hands on the ledge and is clinging as best she can, but it will get a lot harder once they start the next part of the plan. She'll have to support Khenal and Hark at the same time. It shouldn't be for too long, but it's still going to be quite a strain. Khenal adjusts his grip on her feet as Hark carefully prepares himself. The elf speaks up once he's ready. Let me know when to start, Melinda. She takes a few more breaths to calm herself, then tightens her grip on the ledge. Ready? With that, Hark steps off the bar and the trio swing to the wall and hit with a dull thud. It's not too much of an impact, but they need to work quickly if they don't want to end up in the drink again. Hark quickly climbs Val and reaches the ledge. He transfers his weight there instead of on the troll before climbing up. He grins in triumph at being on top before turning and holding up Khenal. The troll gives Melinda a shove to get her up onto the ledge before Hark gets him all the way up, the leader seeing the smallest member struggling to keep her grip. As I thought, the cargo net conveyor barely slows them down. They take a few minutes to recover before Khenal goes and tests the cargo net. Once he sees him move, he just holds it and Hark and Melinda climb up, and then they hold it for him. They all just kinda stare at the wedge wall for a few moments before Melinda voices what's on everyone's mind. What are we supposed to do with that? Khenal looks just as lost, but Hark squints as he gazes upward. I think we climb it. Melinda rolls her eyes as a bit of her venom from before seeps into her words. Oh, really? How? Hark doesn't rise to the bars and instead points at the wall. You wedge yourself in and climb up like that. I've had to climb a few trees like that before. Here, watch. He steps forward and jumps at the wall, and splays his limbs as he gets inside, wedging himself in place. He bugles a bit to get himself into a comfortable width for climbing before looking over his shoulder with a grin. Then you just climb, he demonstrates, and the other two look impressed. Melinda goes next, and though she always flubs the landing, she manages to keep herself from falling. It takes her a bit longer to get into a comfortable position, but she starts climbing. Hark helps her up as she nears the top, and I can see her arms are looking pretty weak. I don't think she'll be getting back up there today. Khenal follows suit and wedges himself in, though he's lanky enough he has to climb using his elbows and knees, instead of his hands and feet. Before long, though, Hark calls him up, and all 3 are sitting on top of the ledge, which is revealed to be yet another platform, though the challenge is different than they've seen before. There's no handholds or weird walls or other things that would fit with the other challenges. Instead, there are 2 large pots and an obvious pressure plate. One pot sits on either side of the plate, with the pots labelled 3 and 5, with the plate between labelled with a 4. Additionally, in the wall is a little fountain. I'm actually a bit proud of this puzzle, even if I did steal it from Die Hard. Using the 2 jugs, put 4 gallons of water on the plate. Mechanically, it's a modified flood trap. If they don't put the correct weight on the plate, water will push them all off the platform, and into the drink once more. The 3 look around, wondering if they've missed anything, and Hark speaks up first. Where's the 4 jar? Melinda frowns. Well, it's not here. I don't think there are any pots in the previous obstacles either. She looks back the way they came, but the position makes it difficult to see much. Khenal thinks as well and shakes his head. I don't remember one either. Maybe it's hidden in the water? Hark looks in the fountain and shakes his head as well. Not in here, unless you meant the water down there? He asks, pointing over the edge. If we go looking, we'll need to do it all at once, points out Melinda, and none of them are especially eager to throw away their victory so soon. They spend a few minutes looking around and even pick up the pots, but don't make the connection of what to do with them just yet. With no other ideas, they collectively sigh and dive into the water, and I let my mind wander to other things. Honey has been getting a bit frustrated with the library. She's got it catalogued and organised, but she is starving for more books to put in it. She's been asking to be able to send expeditions to get more, but I've been telling her no. I get the feeling something isn't translating for the empathic bond, though, because she keeps requesting. I poke Timo to go and talk to her, and it's fun to watch him talk with Honey. The other scions make their various sounds, which he seems to just hear as words, but bees don't really communicate with sounds. They either use pheromones or they dance. I'm pretty sure she uses some pheromones too, but she mostly dances to talk to Timo, which I find to be just too adorable. When he gets to the library, she's working in the hive, laying some new eggs for new workers, but he's able to get her attention easily enough. She comes out and dances for him. He says she and Queen call me the Emperor, and Timo is my emissary, and no matter how many times we try to get them to drop the formality, they refuse to. The boss wants to know why you keep asking about expeditions despite him telling you no. She dances, and he translates after a few seconds. She says she doesn't want to go stealing books, but to get knowledge. Okay, but how does she propose to do that? He relates my question, and she dances her answer back. She wants to write her own books for her own knowledge, gathered from expeditions. Oh? Now that sounds like a good plan. Tell her to start coordinating with Poe and Leo for her bees to join the expeditions. I might send a Narania along with them too. They're not the most dexterous, but they have facsimiles of fingers at least, and can make bags to bring back samples. I'll probably try to get them to offer trays of silk stuff for blank books too. I have my notebooks, but I don't think I can just make blank books for her to use in the library. Does she have anything in specific she wants to study? He chuckles at her response. She's very interested in plants, but she says she wants to gather pollen from all the flowers of knowledge. I wonder if I should try to teach her what I remember about math. Algebra is pretty simple, all things considered, but there's also a lot of stuff that I don't know what the function actually is. Trigonometry is all about sin, cos, and tan, but I don't think I've ever had to actually try to do those functions without a calculator. In fact, how do you even do a square root? I can work backwards and guess, but that feels awkward. Well, she's a clever bee. Maybe she can derive that stuff. Honey. The Emperor is wise and possesses an endless garden of knowledge. The emissary speaks of things of such wonder, and Honey only wishes she could ask her Emperor her questions directly. Even if she has to respawn 1,000 times, the pain will be worth it for the knowledge. Though the Emperor also trusts her to find knowledge herself, he is willing to share some, but there is so much for her to learn on her own. That's why she has to keep requesting to have her workers join the expeditions. There are so many plants and creatures to discover and learn about. The Emperor has been wanting his science to expand their aspects after all, and she thinks this is her best option. She sends workers to communicate with the Marshal and the Warden. They each have their duties to attend, but perhaps later that night she can ask about joining them, as well as about having an Narania along too. She still feels a sense of horror when she looks at them. No, not because they are arachnids, nor that they can be simply unpleasant to look at. No, her sense of horror comes from their senses of spelling and grammar. At least she's been able to get through the thick kiting of their heads, the fundamentals of writing. They still prefer free word do the thing style of signage, but now they do so properly, and so don't insult the Emperor. She doesn't dwell on that thought for long though. No, she still has eggs to lay and plans to make. She has a few ledgers and such she can write in. Perhaps she can make a proper presentation to the Marshal and Warden. The Emperor has managed to gift her with a flash of a bearer of knowledge projecting an illusion to help illustrate their points, writing and pictures created on a large curtain for all to see, rather than the smaller print of an individual book. Could her aspect allow her to do that? Perhaps. She idly flexes her muscles as she works some plans, following in her Emperor's footsteps and delegating what can be delegated as she works towards her goals.